Hello and welcome to GIT 211. I'm Professor Henches. I have authored this course and I am your professor of record for this semester. I wanted to give you a course overview and give you a working model for communicating with me so that we can get through the course as efficiently as possible. So we have the core class information, your core syllabus here, and we have a textbook for this course as well as some software. I'll talk about the software later, but I want to touch on the textbook right now. The textbook is not required. It's a great asset if you want to spend the extra money, but you can get everything you need for this course is built into this course. So you don't even need YouTube. Now YouTube might be an extra asset and it'll be another way of looking at the material I teach you or I present in the videos, but for the most part all you need is this course. You don't need a textbook. So we'll talk again about the software later. Course professor, take a look at that. This is me, but I'm coming in here to give you two key elements in here. Come into here when you want to email me. Here's my email. When you have a question about your grade, something personal, something I can help you with, or even maybe you just need for me to understand something, please email me. It might take a moment to respond, but it's rare. It's a rare week or day, I should say, that I don't respond within 24 hours. So do email me, but you can also schedule Zoom meetings with me. And that's where I say, remember, continue as guest. When I click on this, it'll open up a new window and it'll bring you into Microsoft Bookings. Now here's the rub of this, okay? I want you to use continue as guest as I ask right here. If you sign into Microsoft this is a Microsoft tool, and if you sign into Microsoft, it becomes much more complicated and problematic. So if you just continue as guest, you can then, within the blocks of time that I've pre-established, create an appointment. And these appointments are 30 minutes each. If it needs to run more than that, just take note of it. So when you click on, say, 10 a.m., put your name and your email, and then you can simply go, can we expand this to a 60-minute meeting? No worries. I will take care of that for you. Update my calendar, and when I finish updating it, it will send you a meeting update notice with that information. So that's how we want to create these meetings. We will do Zoom meetings just like I'm speaking to you over this video, but we'll simply share screens. We don't have to share the camera, or if we don't even need a camera on our computers. We just need a screen that we're able to share so I can look at what you're seeing in Maya and vice versa. And same with Photoshop. Those are going to be our two primary software tools. But when we can see each other's work, it's going to be much easier for us to understand, and we can use fewer words. So there's that. I'll come back to this. Well, here's our software, at least for Autodesk. Now you get all the software we need for this course for free. So you'll need to go in and you'll need to sign up for an Autodesk account. So basically autodesk.com, and you'll sign up and you'll use your asu.edu email. You'll go through a student verification process. It's actually pretty simple. For myself, what I actually did was I gave them a screenshot of this and my faculty ID, and that was it. I'm guessing all you'll need to do is pretty much the same. So anyway, I have all access to these tools now all across the board. And it's kind of fun because Flow Studio is sort of it is an artificial intelligence driven tool. I don't want us to get all freaky about AI. I really just want to understand it as it's a tool that automates really repetitive and tedious tasks for us. We will never use AI, at least in my courses, to think for us. But to get rid of the tediousness out of computer graphics, I think that's going to be a very welcome addition. So we'll start playing with that a little bit at some point, but for the most part, this course is not founded on that. We'll get to that sort of stuff at the 400 level. Anyway, you'll have access to all this stuff, so sign up. Now, I don't have Adobe sign or pulled up right now, but you can basically do the same thing. Let me do this. If I jump over to, say, the faculty here, and I go over to My Apps, you should have the same thing. Open that in a new tab. from this page, as long as, again, you are logged in. Now you can see successfully logged in and signed in. These will give you direct links to all these free softwares for you. So this is just a few of them. Find more apps. You'll see that here right at the beginning we have Adobe Creative Cloud. That's for every faculty and staff and student at ASU. That's what your tuition dollar is paying for, as well as some of this. Now, you won't have access to all of this, but you'll have to go through the process of going and registering. So register for Adobe. We're going to be using Photoshop and Illustrator. You're going to be working in Photoshop. We just need Illustrator as a way to open up a file or two, nothing more. We'll open up a file, take a look at it, close it, end of story. We should be having these tools, though, already built in on our systems from other courses we've taken up to this point. If not, there are cases where we don't. Let's make sure we're on point. Here's how you get this stuff for free. Again, if you get confused and need some help with this, you know how to get a hold of me. All right, let me jump back over here. Down below here, here's some sample of student work that I've worked on with students in the past. So take a quick look at that. This is what we do at the 400 and 500 level. Here we have just some stuff that I like to do on weekends. Weekends, you're not going to find me at home. You're going to find me out in the backwoods, usually without internet. I will hopefully be getting Starlink within the next year, but that's on a personal budget, and until I do, I'm really just not going to be accessible on weekends. So that's kind of the case there. I'm going to go back to home. That's going to lead me right into the modules. Course communication pipelines. This is critical information. I showed you two of the main ways to contact me, but I need to show you a couple ways to also interact with me. So first of all, don't use the Canvas inbox here. That's more like text messaging. And if we're going to do that, I have a Slack channel all set up for us here. So we'll do all that messaging there. Now, your personal communications, you're going to go back and you're going to email me. Professor, I'd like to talk about the grade I received on exercise 1. Great. Let's set up a meeting. Let's talk about that face to face, and we can see exactly what's right and what's wrong. I'm definitely an advocate of supporting the work that you do, and if you feel that you're not getting the feedback that you want, let's set that meeting up and let's correct that. So, what else? Oh, the last real thing I want to bring up here is compress your work, zip your files up. At this point, the zipping work up is really a 100 level lesson. You can YouTube how to do that. Every computer on the planet essentially has the ability to do so, or to compress files. And really, it's kind of just putting it in its compressed folder of sorts. So learn how to do that. And then the second thing is, if you're going to send me files, do not send them via email. Upload them to Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive, or many, many others, and then send me the link to download it. That's really a much more etiquette, or I should say internet web netiquette procedure, and basically a lot of the email systems will kick out zip files and similar. Also, we're going to be working with files that are huge. Email systems can't really send a 5 gig project. So that's what I'm pretty much setting you up to understand, that we need to start using this stuff. So when you're sharing work with me, upload it to something, shoot me over the link, and then we can start working with it together. All right, going to jump back over to home. Office hours really just kind of says the same thing. We use Zoom, and we can schedule meetings accordingly. The course downloads, these are just some ancillary tools. We'll be using the texture utility maps when we get over to Module 4, which is at the very end of the semester. But these are just some extra tools here that you might find useful as you grow in this subject matter. Let's get busy and get prepped. The best tool you have is your ability to be organized for this course. 3D requires organization. The whole pipeline of going from Photoshop to Maya to whatever, and we use hundreds of tools, and they all interact with each other. We can share data between them. So we'll be bringing in Photoshop files directly into Maya and putting them on objects, kind of like you would wrap a bottle with a wrapper. That's later. But let's get set up and be organized. So understand time management. Life's not fair. Computer graphics is not fair. It's going to crash on you, and you're going to lose work. So I'm teaching you in the first module how to save when that happens. We save off often, version 1, version 2, version 3. We do not save over the same file. We create iterations of the file. Doesn't matter, in 10 minutes, maybe I have 10 versions of that file. That means if that Maya crashes, then I've only lost less than 60 seconds. And these are really small bits of data for the most part in terms of the speed that in which we work as humans, that it's not a big deal to have 1,000 files over the course of an 8-hour project, and that way you know you're not losing work. It's auto-saving for you. We'll talk more about that later, but understand you will lose time in working in computer graphics. That's just the beast. It'll do it for me, it'll do it for you. So beware. Important note on file workflow. I'm going to bring this one up really quick. I'm going to just shoot over onto my desktop here. Don't do this. All of this stuff on this desktop is disposable. So basically, do not work in Windows on the desktop or My Documents or downloads or music, pictures, or videos. Same with the Mac. Desktop, documents, downloads, music, videos, etc. Why? Because it puts your username into the file path. And it's the file path that is everything for this. So let's take a look at a bad example. C drive, users, my username, desktop, the project that, this is just a folder basically on the desktop that I'm going to look for the sunshine image in the images folder. That is not good. If I put this into a root drive, one of my other drives, if I say open this up and bring this over and I bring this, here's my computer and here's all the physical hard drives. Take a moment for whatever reason. Here's the physical drives for all of this. I happen to have my GPS Garmin attached to this, but you can see my C drive is just what I put software on. It's getting a little full right there. I need to get it cleaned. But these are just data drives. Everything I do for ASU goes on this drive. Here's some of my other drives that I work freelance and otherwise with. Here's a NAS, or basically a 13 or a 14 terabyte drive that's hanging out as my backup system. So anyway, we want to have file management and organization working for us. Any of these would be great root drives, and you'll see the root drive by it starting with the drive letter, and then it goes into your project, and then into images or otherwise. That is a great way of working. Beware, this will catch you out early on. So I'm going to jump back over to my modules. If you have questions about that, let's meet. Anyway, there are videos that talk about this. What else do we have? 3D Modeling Survival Guide, take a look at that. And then just some points about software installation. Introduce yourself, please. And then what do we have here? We have, what are we going to be doing in this course? And this is kind of where I'll wrap this video up. But for the most part, you're going to be working with Maya and Photoshop. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to learn to model out in Orca. It'll be your first character model. But there is a progression here, and there is no cheating the system. Right now, the submit is not live. That's okay, I'll get it live by the end of the week. But the point is that there's a progression here that if you skip, it will be evident, and it'll be evident in your grade. You cannot do last-minute work in this course with computer graphics, period. So try to get the work done early, because the problems are going to show themselves, problems that you don't expect. You're going to be watching my demo going 1 to 1 to 1, and then something really weird's going to happen you won't understand. You'll need my help to kind of maybe get over that, or it's going to take you maybe 4 hours to bang your head against the problem until the solution shines through. Either way, students work both ways. But my point is, if you can actually divert your attention to these, then meet with me. I can save you time in these areas. But the point is that you are going to need to give this course adequate time to work. So how do I know that you'll skip? Basically, a lot of times students, I'm just letting you know, students will skip this. Here's a cheat sheet. You want to get through quickly? Skip the dolphin exercise. It'll affect your grade on the modeling of the orca. You will get a C at the most. And that's just because this is designed and graded so you understand what the minimum bar is. And these are critical concepts that you need to lock in very quickly by September 13th. So be aware of that. Once we get the orca all down, though, you'll make your mistakes on the dolphin, and then you'll jump into the modeling of an orca. And the second and third time you do a thing, and this is very similar to the dolphin, it's not exact, and that's kind of an important thing. Pay attention to the proportions of the character. So be aware of that. Now I'm going to jump into my view, get out of the student view here. And this is what I see. I see a lot more in general. But I'm going to start opening up these other areas. So once we get done with creating an orca, if you give the course and these exercises the appropriate healthy amount of time to work, you're going to feel pretty empowered at this point. Still a lot to learn, but here we're going to go ahead and play with some of the other tools. We're going to learn some of the rules of computer graphics, and we're going to learn how to take one thing and add it and subtract it to another and just kind of create forms like that. So this is just going to be a generalized exercise. I'll give you a quick look-see at that. Not a whole lot visual to see here, I guess, but easy enough. Moving over to Module 3, you're going to create a lattice structure here and learn how to build using nonlinear deformers. You'll build some text, you'll deform it, you'll learn how to create that using spline curves, something like that. So real useful stuff and very quick. So it's something you can actually pump out very quickly in a freelance kind of project, literally as you as you pass this class. It's not a complicated sort of thing, but there are rules to it that you're going to need to pay attention to. And then finally, we are going to close out the semester. This will unlock at the end of October, but we're going to be modeling out or texturing a cube. So I'm going to jump into there. And the goal in this particular case, and I'll maximize this, is to create all this texture work on a simple cube, like we would have a photo cube on a mantle in our homes, showing all the people that we like and the things we've done. But as I go around this, you can see we're going to be creating these textures. So we'll see some transparency on here. We'll have self-illumination. The S on this actually emits light. So if you're in a totally dark room, that would cast light and shadow. So things like that. We're just going to play around with how we do all of that and make basically grayscale models look photoreal. The idea is we throw photos on them in a nutshell. So ultimately that is the course. I wish you luck. Please reach out with questions.